How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Captain Marcus Harrelson with docsfishingclinic and Guide Service, and in this video, I'm going to go over some stuff to kind of help you kind of just take some of the fear off of getting out on the water in the wintertime. A lot of the times, people don't even realize that there's a great fishery out there in South Texas and in Louisiana in the wintertime, and a great way to kind of be able to safely and comfortably have a great time on during that experience. Here's like a few things that I really think are great pieces of gear and stuff I recommend for the cold weather. First of all, I want to go over cotton. Cotton in an outdoor wet environment, say between fishing or sailing or hiking, any kind of outdoor adventure where you can get wet and cold, cotton is not recommended. They would say there's a little acronym, cotton kills, and that's because when cotton gets wet, it's really hard for it to dry again. And then two, it doesn't lets you retain your body heat. It kind of sucks and wicks your heat off your core, and pretty much is really bad at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, you don't stay away from cotton. It's bad stuff. So when I'm getting out on the water, the first thing I like to do is start with good underwear. They're not cotton, they're a poly blend, kind of like a performance underwear. A bunch of companies out there make them. These happen to just be Sims, and I really like these a lot, and I pretty much wear these on a daily basis. Another thing that I think that kind of really adds to the comfort level kind of depends on the wind conditions and the weather, humidity levels, all that. And it's going to be a good pair of polypropylene long johns. I'd say wearing these over a pair of your underwear, having these on the boat, or just kind of thinking about having these is a great way to kind of just add a little bit more comfort throughout your day. Depending, especially if it's not going to be sunny or it's not going to warm up at all, definitely a good option to have these. Next thing, this right here. I think a good beanie or good headwear for the wintertime is absolutely key. You lose so much of your heat through your head that in the wintertime on the boat, I'll wear this and it may look a little goofy and stuff like that, but it's got these tie down so I can kind of keep my ears nice and warm when I tie this down. And because of the flaps, again, my ears stay nice and toasty most of the time on the boat. It doesn't have like a bill or anything like that, but a lot of times I could slip it over my pre-existing hat and see just fine. The next thing, I think, after you go kind of like after base layers, I think what I really like to do is I wear these old like fleece pants. They're like not that high, like a high water almost on me now, just from washing them throughout the years. They're nothing fancy, they're just a fleece material, and the reason I like fleece, I have a top and a bottom that I like to wear, but I'll go on the top in a minute. The reason I like fleece is when it gets wet, even if you're soaked to the bone, it still lets you retain your body heat. And you're able to kind of keep your warmth, and you're not like constantly just like getting zapped from Mother Nature on the wind and all that stuff due to the material you're wearing. On my fleece, I wear a pretty heavy duty fleece. Most of the time, I like to stay warm. I'm kind of a baby and a diva when it comes to cold weather. So at the most, I try to wear a pretty heavy fleece. Depending on what the wind and the weather's going to be throughout the day, though, I might decide to wear something a little bit lighter than this and stuff like that. There's so many options out there with companies, outdoor brands, and all these different retail box stores and online that you can get great deals on fleeces and stuff like that, and they'll last you for multiple sports and go through there. On all this stuff, I'm about to go over jackets and all that. What really keeps you warm, though, is the baffling layers. In between each layer of this, say my fleece and then my polypropylene or my t-shirt, it's building up heat layers in between here. So then heat builds in and that air will warm up in between that baffle layer. And then I have my jacket on and that has a layer of air in there that warms up. And then say a Gore-Tex jacket or a rain jacket, and that builds a layer of air. And all those little baffles are what kind of insulate you and kind of keep the heat in. So you might say like a fleece might be a large, and then the jacket might be an extra large, and your rain jacket might be an extra large or a double XL. And I'd say I'd look at stuff like that, especially if you're planning on layering. This gives you an opportunity to bulk up, put on multiple layers, and shed layers, say it starts to warm up. And this is great, say you're hiking in the mountains or hunting, fly fishing in different environments, going out on a sailboat, any of this stuff. The different layerings and the level of like space in between really matters. I've gone into certain situations and rescue operations where guys have all extremely tight form-fitting stuff, and there's no level. It's so tight that in between those levels, there's no real area for air to warm up, and it kind of defeats the purpose of having all the gear. They think they look cool because it's all form-fitting, but at the end of the day, it's not really providing the best protection that you can get in comfort level. Anyway, off that soapbox. The next piece of gear I think that everybody should have, whether they're snowboarding, outdoor fishing, anything if you're outdoors and you have to deal with inclement weather or kind of crazy, harsh environments, I say a good puffy is like key. This one right here is a higher end puffy. I say like synthetic is really key. In my situation, being on the water all the time and wet, I'd say some things to look at when you're purchasing a puffy. Kind of depends on each scenario and what you're trying to do with it. But I would say I would look for a water resistant or waterproof puffy. Having this thing will keep you warm in the rain, the wind, snow environment. It's a great layer. It's a great jacket. It packs up extremely light and small into its own pocket, so you could stuff it really easy. I say a lot of times when I'm on adventures in Colorado and those kind of places, I take this and a rain jacket and I fold them up into their deals, and they both fit up underneath my seat. So I'm kind of prepared for any situation, and they're out of the way, and I always know I kind of have it there. So always kind of looking at a puffy. Like I said, fly fishing companies and many outdoor apparel companies make these, and just kind of find the one that fits you and is kind of comfortable. Another essential piece of gear, which I also carry for my clients on the boat, is a pair of bibs. When you think bibs, you kind of think like ski bibs or stuff like that, not baby bibs. But ski bibs, and that's basically what these are, but for fishing. The bottom's open, so you could slip on a pair of boots really easy, or a pair of flip-flops, kind of depending on the conditions. Mine that I wear on the boat, as you can see, are kind of ragged and worn down. It's because I actually use my gear. And these are made by Sims, and they're a Gore-Tex. This is their Pro Dry series, and this is a little extreme for the weekend warrior or the guy that's not out there every single day. For my clients, I use a pair that are a step below this that don't have the Gore-Tex. It's, I believe, a Cordura material. And that is what, they're not in the brush like I am, and they're not jumping through the mangroves to get flies out, and they're not doing like this kind of some of the stuff that I am, doing the everyday wear and tear. Just wearing them on the boat to run and stuff like that is kind of what they're doing. So you could really get into a pair of nice bibs at a way cheaper price point than these, but I think these are key. It really helps when you're running in the winter months to cut down on wind chill, say the rain picks up, you're halibut fishing in Alaska, any of those type of environments or situations, these really help out a ton. And I think they're kind of like an absolute must on the boat in the wintertime. I think most guides will tell you the same thing. And last but not least is a good rain jacket. Again, I go with Gore-Tex, and you can see this one's camo. I try to kind of blend a lot of my sports and hobbies together between like sailing, fishing, hunting, all that stuff. So I try to use stuff that I can use across multiple different hobbies or activities. So on this one being camo, I'll wear it fishing, sailing, and hunting, and it gets multi-purposes out of it. I'm not so upset about spending the upper price tag, like $500-600 on a jacket that way, because I'm gonna get a lot of great uses out of it, and it really kind of helps long term through wear and tear. And plus, also a lot of these higher end products have great warranty replacement and programs and stuff like that. So it's kind of what you're really paying for, besides the Gore-Tex and the higher quality zippers and stuff like that. I hope this video helps you stay more comfortable and kind of get you out on the water in the wintertime. On the Texas coast, like I said, we have a great fishery, and I'd hate for you to miss out on it due to fear of staying cold and stuff like that. If you would please go to my page and follow, like, subscribe down here. Or if you get a chance, go to my Instagram profile at I Live to Fish. And I'll also do like little free weekly tips and stuff like that on there. Be sure to check that out. Thanks for watching.